everyone, it's Libby from Maighstir Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, that's W-O-R-I-M-I, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides and the universal energies. Oh, okay, where does one start? Typical Monday morning. Okay, I'm going to use the Sci-Fi Tarot. I know it's a bit of an unusual deck, but hey, let's give it a go. I want to have a look at the USS Lincoln again. It is a Nimitz class aircraft carrier, and for those that have been watching me for a while know that my guides have been yammering for forever about the Nimitz, and I thought they were talking about the USS Nimitz, but could be the Abe Lincoln. So I'll have a little bit of a look at what's happening. Apparently it is heading home. I don't know how long heading home actually takes, and well, can the regime actually allow the conditions on board to get out, to be spoken about? So what have we got happening? So I believe the USS George Washington, which is another aircraft carrier, is moving from the South Pacific to take over from the Lincoln, which is leaving the South Pacific incredibly unprotected, Taiwan. And what's also happened is the Orange Idiot, and I call him that because he's orange and he's an idiot, has come out and pretty much said that they're not going to be looking after South Korea. Okay, yes, his old boyfriend Rocket Man, he's pandering to him again. So what is happening? Everything is coming out, so it was so obviously public as to who is being supported, and that it can't be denied. I mean, there's no keeping the head in the sand anymore. So because you've got Shady came out. He pretty much, apparently he made a call to Zelensky to say, oh, stop bombing the Russians, please. Well, how about you tell the Russians to stop bombing the Ukrainians? Apparently there was a huge attack overnight. So, and Shady's also come out and he has voiced about taking the US dollar, removing the US dollar as the reserve currency and swapping it out for Bitcoin, stablecoin, crypto, whatever you like to call it, all of the above. And then, of course, what's happened is now Sniffy Jr., and if you're wondering who Sniffy Jr. is, and I Eat Glue, they're the Orange Idiot's two oldest children. Their World Liberty Finance has apparently now been cleared to become a bank, which means it can actually produce stablecoin. Oh, it is so obviously convoluted and intertwined. But I want to have a look at the Lincoln to start with. Okay, what's also involved in that, brought to my attention, was the USS Benfold. So that's another US military ship. Now, where did I find my details on that? The guided missile destroyer USS Benfold spent 4 days in the South China Sea without power after an engineering failure, and it was towed to a port. So pretty much it had no toilets, no working galley, no air conditioning, etc. and so forth. Apparently it got towed to a ship repair facility in Japan. So crew receiving contracted lodgings off the ship, and power was restored 30th of July, according to Coma. So all repairs were completed by August the 7th, when the ship completed a berth shift for fuel, and it headed back out into sea in August the 8th. Okay, so there seems to be quite a bit breaking down with the US military, the shipping at the moment. Remembering that the Gerald Ford is in dock at the moment, I assume having repairs. I haven't looked to see what's up with it recently. The one that had the laundry fire, that military personnel that were on the ship said it weren't no laundry fire. It was a missile that came down an elevator shaft, allegedly, apparently. Okay, so I just want to have a look. The Lincoln, the Nimitz class. There are reports that are coming out from Persia saying, and if you're wondering why I call it Persia, because certain words get censor triggered. If I say the IRAN, oh, yes, big yes. Well, is that in regards to the censor triggering, or is that in regards to what Persia are reporting about the Lincoln? Okay. So apparently they're reporting that seven military personnel have passed due to an attempted mutiny. Now, my guys were saying bosun the other day. Apparently, that's an old-fashioned term for what is now the chief petty officer who is in charge of the enlisted men. And there is a bit of a saying that says the captain decides where the ship's going, but the chief petty officer makes it happen. Okay, so let's have a look. I'm leaving that sun card out. Right. Was there? Okay, just ask. Actually, I'll pop it back. Just put it back randomly. Was there an actual attempted mutiny on the Lincoln? Was there an attempted mutiny on the Lincoln? Was there an attempted mutiny on the Lincoln? Okay. Let's have a look. Oh, just very quickly, quite a few of you have asked me about Nolan Wells. I just want to point out that I am totally in agreement with Afefe from Touch by Tarot and Susan Lynn in that there will be people who are involved, some of the parents who will face prison time, and I do get that some of the alleged perpetrators will let me put it this way, go their own way, take their own way out, part of which, and also this was reaffirmed, because I've been saying that privately in emails and replies to comments that people make. I'm not going to look at that particular case, but one of my lovely viewers sent me a photograph of one of the alleged perpetrators who was there on the boat, and a photograph of him from 3 weeks ago or whatever compared to now, incredibly gaunt, haggard, fearful, looked quite in a really, really bad mental state. I don't wish bad on anybody, but I'm just going to say I am in that camp, so I won't actually do any further reading on it because justice will be served. Okay, I'm looking at, was there an actual mutiny on the Lincoln? And I've got on the bottom the Ace of Cups, which is a yes card, a yes, and the Seven of Swords, which is about there's reports that were 7 sailors, but also this is about lying and gaslighting and not telling the truth. He stole weapons, it says. He stole weapons from the invaders, but was it justice? And then I've got the 5 of Cups and then the Ace of Swords just sitting on the bottom there. So the Ace of Cups is 2 aces are telling me big yes. 7 of Swords, it's being lied about. 5 of Cups, well, a disaster aboard, but is all hope lost? There is always more to the story. Oh boy. And then you've got these 3 down the bottom in what looks like suspension modules or something. I can't even think of the name because my guides are older and they're not thinking forward. And then the Ace of Swords as well. So I'm going to say yes. Let's see what's on the top. I'll just put those to the side there. Let's see what's on the top. Was there an actual attempted mutiny? Right, the King of Pentacles. I suspect this was probably the captain. King of Pentacles, protection, challenged by the Queen of Wands. So that I think this was the captain, and he was challenged by the Queen of Wands. Energy is very much about an internal plan, doesn't necessarily have to be female. It's like it can be a passionate plan. Okay, so yes, I think there was. The Knight of Swords, yes. This is rash action. It can be the military as well. Fast thinking action. When the world needed a warrior, he stepped into the breach, is what it says there. The Knight of Wands and Knight of Swords, and it is very much about military action, the Knight of Swords, because it is an action card, but it's rash action. So I'm going to say I think there was. We've got the Page of Swords there, the truth being leaked out. There's a leak in the past. And then we've got the Nine of Swords, the nightmare situation. How do we contain this? So I'm going to say yes, there was. Okay, the Five of Pentacles. Feeling disenfranchised, lost, alone and afraid with the fear of worse to come? Or is it that there is worse to come, because this is my card of moral, financial, ethical corruption, of leaving out in the cold while whoever it is remains protected within the church, usually going past. Okay, externally, the Six of Cups, naivety. Internally, the Six of Wands, being seen and heard. It's also a false victory. Okay, two sixes, interesting. Being seen and heard, some sort of declaration being made, some sort of declaration of victory. What have we got here? The Nine of Wands, the barricade, the barrier, hopes and fears. Slamming the barricade down. What have we got then? The Seven of Wands, cornered. So we've got the Seven of Swords over here and the Seven of Wands, sixes leading to sevens, and two fives if I include this five as well. 5, 6 and 7. So the Seven of Wands, cornered. Was there a mutiny? Just trying to read that. Cornered by a slithering horde on the... Oh, I can't even read that. Doesn't she have a secret weapon? Does she have a secret weapon? Cornered but with a secret weapon. Okay. The Four of Wands, some sort of announcement coming from the White House, and the Hermit, alone amongst the stars. I don't like the end these cards. And then the Chariot, which is my card for the military. The Unstoppable Vessel. Something being hidden, something being kept secret, the military. The Fool, a step into the unknown. And then the Ten of Wands, the overreach. The Fool, new journey, something new. The Knight of Cups, which is very much about the Trojan horse, and the Hanged Man, hopefully being stopped. And then the Star, which does lead me to ask, and then we've got the Seven of Pentacles, so yet another seven. Okay, inability to harvest. Got the Page of Wands continuing on the bottom, which is about messaging coming out and bringing with it justice. Three of Wands, distant horizon, coming in from a distant horizon, and then the Tower card, collapse, breakdown. Okay, which is leading me to the question, is the Lincoln going to be, because if there was mutiny on board, just the conditions themselves, and then you had the orange idiot coming out saying, oh, they haven't stayed out long enough, they need to stay out longer. The Hierophant. The Hierophant. So this is very possibly this announcement. This is the higher authorities making some sort of declaration. The Page of Pentacles, an order coming down, and then we've got Judgment, delusional, Ten of Pentacles, legacy, the Magician, the World, and the Devil, and then the Ace of Wands. So this is telling me, with that Devil and ending the manipulation, the Ten of Pentacles, delusion, something, there is some order that is going to, I think this, because he's come out and the felon has voiced it. They should stay out longer. And then you had that Fox host apparently did something along the lines of, oh, they're having a biatch about some noodles and tuna, the wimps, you know, blah, 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 blah. Huge backlash, I might add, from the viewers. But again, that's water testing. So is the Lincoln going to be in any way prevented from returning to dock? I don't even know where it is. Hang on a sec. Let's see where it's heading. Right, no, it's still in Persia. It is supposed to return to San Diego, which, if I get it right, is on the west coast. That's a long way. That's like it's there, and it has to go out through the Mediterranean and then down through around the bottom of South America, or it has to go around South Africa and go through the Pacific. But I don't think it'll be going through the Pacific. One would hope it's not going through the South China Sea to the Pacific. Okay, right, tells me it's underway. When was that? That was, oh no, that's January. Okay, so it hasn't been updated since January as to where the Abraham Lincoln actually is on cruising Earth. Okay, so it has to go to San Diego. Sure, that's on the west coast. Let me check. Hang on. Shows how bad my geography is, but yes, it is on the west coast, just above the border with Mexico. Okay, is anything going to prevent the Nimitz, the Lincoln, Nimitz class, from returning to San Diego? So I'm assuming it's being left in Persia until the George Washington gets there. Now, it's in the South Pacific, so it's got a long way to go as well. Ten of Swords jumped out. The Hanged Man and the Nine of Swords. Oh, boy. So jumped out the Ten of Swords. The Hanged Man, something being stopped. The Nine of Swords, nightmare situation. I think they're going to try. On the top, we've got the Temperance card. Finding a balance. Page of Swords. Information coming out. And the Hermit. Now, this could be trying to spin the information that's coming out, the isolation. Got the Two of Pentacles trying to juggle, and you've got, if you think of the original Rider-Waite Two of Pentacles, it is the ships on the rocky seas trying to get back to port, trying to get into port. There's the Chariot, the vehicle itself, the Fool, and the Fool. Oh, man. Foolishness. There's the ship itself, the Chariot, trying to get back to port. What's this Fool card? A step into the unknown. Is it genius or suicide? I don't like these cards. remembering that the crew are depleted, like physically and mentally depleted. The star has popped out. A journey into the realms. The chariot, there's the ship itself. The Fool again. 3 mages. The Magician, the Manipulation. 2 of Swords, the Hermit again, the Hanged Man again, the Devil again. Some sort of announcement from the White House. At the edge of the vast sea of space, she looked inwards. Isolation, being stopped, and the Devil. And what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mages. And an announcement coming from the White House. Here's this has shown itself a couple of times. The Queen of Cups, the lid being lifted on something. And then we've got the Page of Swords about the truth coming out, and the 3 of Pentacles. Meetings done behind closed doors. I mean, targets perhaps on the US. Let's have a look. Some sort of victory. The Ace of Cups. But then you've got the 5 of Swords, the lying of it. And the 9 of Swords, the nightmare situation. Volatile information being brought out with that Knight of Wands. And then we have the Death card, significant ending. Oh, and then we have a lot of information coming really quickly with that 8 of Wands. And then we have the 4 of Swords. I've got no words for this. I've got no words, because I think there may very well be an intention to false flag the Lincoln. I know I was saying that about the Nimitz, and I don't want to stress anybody overly, but are they going to succeed? You've got the Orange Idiot coming out saying, oh, they should stay at sea longer. You've got a physically and mentally depleted crew. If the cards indicate that, yes, there was a attempted mutiny on board. Are they going to succeed? Are they going to succeed? The Knight of Wands, volatile information coming forward. I think that I'm hoping not, because then we've got the King of Wands, action being taken with this information, and then we've got the 5 of Cups, which is about loss, regret, a disaster aboard. There's always more to the story. And then you've got the 4 of Wands again, the Lover's card, and the Ace of Wands. This is about a plan, but it's also a big yes card. Announcement coming from the White House, some sort of agreement that was made, and then the Ace of Wands, which is a yes card in regards to this Wands energy. Volatile information, a plan being inactive, 5 of Cups, it's a disaster aboard, but there's always more to the story. But 4 of Wands, an announcement from the White House, the Lovers, and information being brought forward, big information being brought forward, which is taking me to something else I was reading today. Is Cush is back in apparently Egypt, the son-in-law, negotiating with Hamas in regards to Gaza, and that's got me actually quite worried as well. So apparently, the regime put forward some sort of peace deal in regards to is not real, and Gaza. It was knocked back by is not real. Apparently 8 countries, Muslim countries in that area, issued statements condemning the rejection. But what have we got here? We've got Kush is having peace talks with Hamas in Egypt, and they're talking about the Felons Board of Peace. You know, pay the money and get put in there, claiming that the Board of Peace has reached an agreement. But what I'm also reading up on is apparently another negotiator that was there was with Kush is a guy by the name of Nikolai Mladenov, Bulgarian. But what he is recently is he was appointed by the US as the High Representative for Gaza. And he is he's the head of this Board of Peace. So I'm actually going to have a separate look at that. Apparently, Mladenov, I'll just call him Nikolai, apparently had met with Yahoo way back in the, a while back, to coordinate the implementation of the board's mandate. Yeah, I'm going to have a second look at that because my guides are telling me there's something connected here. So I'm just going to leave you there. Sorry about such a downer of a reading to start with. Actually, I'll just grab some extra cards. I'll use the Gilded Tarot Royale. Will the crew on the Lincoln be safe? Will the crew on the Lincoln be safe? Because they're being watched. Will the crew on the Lincoln be safe? The USS Abe Lincoln, the aircraft carrier. Will the crew be kept safe? Okay, you want that one. Come on down. Two of Swords, we had that card previously. The decision has not yet been made. There's a lot of work going on behind the scenes. There's that Five of Cups again, loss, disappointment. There's a Tower card. Far out, man. There's that King of Pentacles sitting above all of it. I don't know that this is the Orange Idiot, but it's somebody who's pulling the strings there. Could be Kush. Got the King of Cups in the immediate future. We know there's a lot of cups in the regime. Denise Knight has a whole list of them. Pretty much everyone from Cough to Nutlick. Right, you've got the Six of Swords, move externally, coming out of the straight. Internally, the Seven of Wands on the back foot, having to defend the position. Hopes and fears, some big announcement coming forward with the Ace of Wands, the outcome, volatile information brought forward with that Knight of Wands, Queen of Swords, and the Eight of Cups. An internal strategy and walking away. Secrets being revealed with the High Priestess, naivety with the Six of Cups, the nightmare situation, the Five of Pentacles, the moral, financial, ethical corruption, the smoke and mirrors delusion with the Seven of Cups, something that certain elements would like kept hidden with that Four of Pentacles. You then got the Five of Wands, the infighting. We've got 1, 2, 3 of the fives on the table. And then we've got the Star, the throwing under the bus and the Star. You've then got the Emperor facing Judgment. Rusky, information brought forward. having to surrender as secrets are revealed. Oh, there's the Ace of Swords on the bottom. Big yes, yes, yes. And there's, money changing hands potentially. I think the crew is going to be safe. I think the information, so they may face, as they come out of the strait, they may face an attack. And I'm just going to say it won't be from Persia or the Houthis. But I think as they come out of the strait, they're going to prevail. Sun card, yes, thank goodness. I think they're going to prevail. Oh, look at these. The Sun card, the Justice card, the Wheel of Fortune turning, and Strength. 4 majors. And then if I pick up the next card on top of the deck, that 2 of Swords. It's not destined yet, but what I'm getting is, especially with those 4 major arcana and the biggest yes card in the deck and all meaning yes, I think what's going to happen is as it's coming out of the strait, it's going to be, there's going to be a false flag. Is that what I'm getting? Is there going to be a false flag attack? Where's it going to come from? Treason. Right, I think as it comes out through an opening in the strait, there's going to be some treasonous action that is taken. Lies, steal, sneaky, fox in the hen house, betrayal. But I don't think they're going to get away with it. Oh, it's all part of this unraveling. Okay, so I think the crew are going to be safe. And as on these 2 cards, again, 2 5s. It's going to be a massive turning point. Moral, ethical, financial corruption. What's in behind that? The Sun card being exposed. What have we got on this side? The 5 of Cups, the Justice card, the Hermit, and the White House. Loss, justice, shining a light on what was hidden in the White House. Yeah, I think they're going to get sprung. If the regime goes ahead with this, I think the crew on the Lincoln are going to successfully be able to defend themselves or beat back whatever is happening, and it is going to be really obvious of where it came from. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. Where does one go? And I'll have a look at what's come out in regards to Kush and Gaza in a minute. Okay, take care.